I've often touted the intrinsic social value of board games. It's necessary, I said, to have people to play games with. It helps develop camaraderie and teamwork and competition and good sportsmanship to play with and against other people in the real world. Board games are social artifacts that require interaction with our brothers and sisters of humanity. Games are the one great bridge between classes, race, and religion. It's a common ground that makes us invest our time willingly into other people. What garbage. I've spent the last few days losing a game that was designed to be played by one player. Instead of bringing out the Kingsmen or Star Realms on lunch breaks, I've been secluding myself to a separate table, avoiding any and all social interaction whenever it arises. Now, I'm not exactly sure why my interest in solo gaming has peaked at this particular point. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that it's Saturday morning and Bruce ripped me from the Nexus, that joy ribbon that's known as my bed, so that I could come hang out with him. But really, he's blessed me. He's saved me from that Nexus, and he's brought me to the realization that life is difficult, which, oddly enough, is kind of the premise of Friday. Sure, I'm more disappointed than Whoopi Goldberg was in Star Trek Generations, but that's okay. So let's take a look at the gameplay of Friday, and then I'll let you know what I think of it. Now, this is the setup for Friday. Here you've got your starting Robinson deck, you've got your Hazard deck, and you've got your Aging deck. The way the mechanics work is you've got your starting deck here, and it's full of numbers. Most of them are not very good. The 2 is the highest in there. You've got a lot of zeros, even some -1s. So that's your starting deck. Now you need to complete this Hazard deck 3 times, each increasingly more difficult. So to start out, you flip 2 Hazard cards. As you can see, the Hazard cards are double-sided, so the only part that you'll be looking at is this top part here, where it's got the green, yellow, and red. So I need 4 points in order to beat this card. In the first round, 7 in the second round, 11 in the red. This icon here is the number of free cards that I can flip from my deck to try to match the number that matches the round that I'm on. If I successfully beat it, I flip it upside down. It goes into my Robinson deck, and this is something that I can use later on in the game. See, it's a higher number. It's a 3. Also, some of the cards have special abilities that I can tap into during the round, and it makes things easier. Gameplay goes, you flip 2 Hazard cards, and you decide which one you want to take. Now, I know that I don't have very many high cards in my deck right now, so maybe I don't want to face this wild animal because it's a 4 and I don't have many. So I discard that 4, and I place this here. I am now facing this Hazard, which is Explore the Island. I get 2 free cards to get 1 point. So, for my free cards, I flip them on the left side. So I have 1 card that's a 0, 1 card that's a 1. Now, the threshold for this round was a 1. I beat that. I discard all these cards, flip this one upside down, and put that in my discard deck, and the next time that I have to shuffle, that is included. On this 0, had I played this, I could flip it sideways and I would get 2 life. Now, if I run out of these life points, the game's over, Robinson loses, and he's dead. Now, had I not met the threshold by the time I had flipped these 2 free cards, I then could pay 1 life point per an extra card and flip it on the right side here. See, I beat it, but I paid 1 extra card, so I lose a life in doing so. Now, let's go back to our original 2 Hazard choices here. Now, I could have chosen this more difficult one and faced it. Now, I get 4 free cards for this one. I flip, oh, -1, -1, 1, and 1. So I have a total of 0. I've pulled up 2 -1s and 2 +1s. Now I have the option of paying life points to flip more cards to try to get 2 more points, or I have the option of purposely losing. Now if I decide, okay, I'm not going to beat this, I lose, I would match up the difference between the number that I needed versus the number that I have and pay the life points in the difference. So in this instance I won 0 points, and so I would have to pay 4 life points. 2, 3, 4. That's kind of a big hit, but part of the strategy of the game is that when you lose life points in that way, you then can discard, or you can trash cards from that you played here out of the game for good. Sure, I lost the round, but I'm making my deck more sleek and more predictable, which is a huge aspect of the game. Now, once I flip the last card of my Robinson deck, and I need to pull another card, I then would take the discard deck, and I'd add one of these Aging cards. Now, these Aging cards are always bad. This represents Robinson decaying to the strength of time. These are always bad. So every time you have to reshuffle your Robinson deck, you have to put one of those aging cards in there. After you defeat the hazard deck for a third time, your Robinson deck hopefully is pretty strong at this point. You've been getting rid of useless cards and you've been gaining stronger cards by defeating hazards. Robinson's experience grows. You end the game, and I've never actually reached this point myself. The last round of the game is you have to fight 2 pirates in order to get off the island. Now, they've got different abilities. These 2 are just sort of standard. You know, they've got 20 life points, and you have 6 cards. So your deck has to be pretty strong in order to meet that. You beat that one, you then face another one. Now, Friday isn't the first game that I've played solo, but it is the first game that I've played that's specifically only for one player. Now, what the game does and what it intends to do, it does extremely well. It's a relatively easy setup, and the gameplay is simple enough to grasp with a quick read-through of the rules, but also offers an incredible amount of challenge. I've played this game probably 15 times and have lost every single one on easy mode. Now, the dual nature of the challenge cards, I think, is one, it's an awesome mechanic, and 2, it works really well for the theme of the game, because once you complete one of those challenges and you successfully beat it, suddenly Robinson becomes more experienced, and he's learned from that, and he gets better. Now, the same can be said for the aging cards. I mean, as time passes, he kind of forgets things, or, you know, succumbs to the bleak situation that he's found himself in. And so for being a deck building game, a solo deck building game, it's got enough theme and flavor in there to really drive a pretty interesting story. I also like the tactile feel of a lot of the components. I mean, sure, it's a card game, but it's got the life points in there and it's got the board, so it makes it feel less like, you know, a game of solitaire and more like an actual board game that's been designed for one player, and I really like that. Not many cons. I guess kind of con is that it is for only one player. It would be pretty fun to play this maybe. I mean, you could get 2 games of Friday going side by side and just see who lasts the longest, but it's designed for one player, and there's really no expanding it. The other thing is that it is almost frustratingly difficult sometimes. Like I said, I've played this game multiple times, and to the date of this review have not beat it once. Now, that being said, I still really enjoy playing it, and it's been driving me to play it more because I really, really want to beat it. And I'm only on the first difficulty suggested. So yes, Friday is absolutely a game that I recommend, and it's inexpensive. MSRP is around 20 bucks. You can get it on Amazon for 14 right now, I think. Even if you're just slightly interested, 14 bucks is a good investment. If you don't like it, you can gift it to someone. Yeah, really enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like us and subscribe. And we're trying to get videos out every week, so yeah, we'll see you next time.